You ever watch a politician on TV and just think, wait, did they really just say that? Well, buckle up, because we are about to break down a live TV moment so unbelievably awkward, it's a masterclass in what not to do when a reporter shows up with the receipts. Let's get right into it.
And hey, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another breakdown. Okay, let's set the scene.
All right, so picture this. It's a Sunday morning news show. The cameras are on, and a U.S. congressman is about to walk straight into a verbal trap he built all by himself.
And boom! There it is, the question. ABC's Martha Raddatz came ready with his voting record, and she asks one simple, direct question. There is absolutely no wiggling out of this one.
Yikes. You can almost hear the internal panic alarms blaring, right? This is that deer in the headlights moment that politicians have actual nightmares about. So, how does Representative Tom Emmer get out of it?
He doesn't remember. You heard that right. On national television, his official reason for voting against a massive school safety bill is basically a verbal shrug. But believe me, that "I don't know" is just the start of this wild ride.
Okay, hold on. Rewind the tape. A congressman just forgets voting on a major safety bill? To really understand how he walked right into this mess, we have to look at what he was doing literally moments before this interview.
So the context here is super important, and it's also really tragic. This whole interview went down just days after a school shooting in Minneapolis. Emotions were raw, and you know what that means. The political blame game was on.
So here was Emmer's game plan, right? He goes on ABC's This Week, ready to point the finger squarely at Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz. His whole argument was that this terrible tragedy happened because schools just don't have the resources to keep kids safe. He even said, and I quote, "It's going to be very important that the schools have the resources." Remember that word? Resources.
And speaking of resources, well, that brings us to a certain piece of legislation. A bill specifically designed to provide, you guessed it, resources. The very bill he suddenly had amnesia about.
And this right here is the trap in a nutshell. What he said on TV was the complete and total opposite of what he did in Congress. He was out there demanding the very thing he had already voted against. It's just a political own goal of epic proportions.
So what was this mystery bill? It was the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act of 2022. And this wasn't some tiny, obscure bill, okay? This was a major law passed after the horrible massacres in Uvalde and Buffalo, and it had huge support from both Democrats and Republicans.
And what was inside it? Hundreds of millions of dollars for the exact things Emmer was just talking about. We're talking money for school mental health services and funding for better safety measures. It was, quite literally, a bill for school resources.
Okay, so the whole "I don't remember" thing is clearly not working. When a politician is cornered by cold, hard facts like this, there's only one move left in the playbook. It's time for the great pivot.
And you can see this on-air scramble happen in 3 easy steps. First, plead amnesia. We saw that? Check. Second, when the reporter keeps pressing, you start to question if the bill would have really done any good anyway. And third, the final desperation move, shift the blame to someone else entirely.
And there it is, the blame shift. He pivots completely away from policy, away from his own voting record, and tries to put the responsibility on the shooter's friends and family. It's a classic move when you're losing an argument. Just change the subject.
So, when all the dust settled on this absolute train wreck of an interview, we're all left with the same big question. What exactly did we just see happen here? Was this a real political slip-up? A genuine moment where he honestly forgot how he voted on a landmark piece of legislation? Or was saying "I don't remember" a calculated move, a strategy to avoid answering a question that he knew would make him look terrible?
So what do you think? Was it a genuine gaffe or a clever strategy? Drop your theory in the comments below. I really want to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers that cut right through the noise. Thanks for watching.